dancing under an influence. I'm out my damn mind at a rave, tongue tied. You took my breath away, fell in love all in the high. I lost my sight in flashing lights.
Take me to the moon where we both fell in love. My mind's awake, I feel so Take me to the moon where we both fell in love. My mind's awake, I feel so alive.
You took my breath away, fell in love all in a high. I lost my sight in flashing lights.
Take me to
You took my breath away, fell in love all in a high. I lost my sight in flashing lights.
SOS, someone said, never gonna let you down. Found you in every crowd. SOS, someone said, you'd have cried out the sound. Found you in every crowd. To you, if I'm reaching out, it's for you. If I'm going down, it's for you. If I'm screaming out, it's for you. SOS, someone said, found you in every crowd. SOS, someone said, you'd have cried out the sound. Found you in every crowd. To you, if I'm reaching out, it's for you. If I'm going down, it's for you. If I'm screaming out, it's for you. SOS, someone said, never gonna let you down. Found you in every crowd. SOS, someone said, you'd have cried out the sound. Found you in every crowd. To you, if I'm reaching out, it's for you. If I'm going down, it's for you. If I'm screaming out, it's to you. To you, if I'm reaching out, it's for you. If I'm going down, it's for you. If I'm screaming out, it's to you. If I'm reaching out, it's for you. If I'm going down, it's for you. If I'm screaming out, it's for you.
I've been wasting time for way too long, saying I'll change, then moving on. Every day just slips away. I swear I'll start, just not today. I watch the hours disappear, tell myself I'll care next year, but nothing ever really changes. It only shifts and rearranges. I've been wasting time. I've been losing time. I've been wasting time for way too long. Feel like I've been here for way too long. Nobody gives a fuck and nobody really cares. Nobody notices I'm falling behind. Nobody sees this heat of me alive. Nobody thinks that.
Is it desire? Or is it love that I'm feeling for you? I want desire. 'Cause your love only gets me abused. 'Cause your love. Is it desire? Or is it love that I'm feeling for you? I want desire. 'Cause your love only gets me abused. 'Cause your I must be tough. I must behave. I must keep fighting. Don't give it up. I want to keep us compromising. Open your arms and pray to the truth that you're denying. Give in to the game, the sense that you've been hiding. Is it desire? Or is it love that I'm feeling for you? I want desire. I wanna see what you're willing to lose. 'Cause you love. 'Cause you love. 'Cause you love. Is it desire? Or is it love that I'm feeling for you? I want desire. 'Cause your love only gets me abused. 'Cause you love. Bring it back. Tell me all the ways to stay away. Fireworks exploding in my hands. If I could paint the sky, would all the stars reshine a bloody red?
What's up, guys? let's get into it. What's happening? What's happening? A little dilly-dallying today. Happy, what day is it today? Thursday, June 11th. What's up, Bartos, Karen, Noah, Rafa? We got Joe, Brandon, Corey. Corey with the 4R and NQ. Classic Corey flex to start the day. Seth, what's up? Slight flex. Yeah, for real. But we love to see it, man. The more the merrier. This ideally, that's how everyone comes in. They're like, oh, yeah, already made $1 million today, so life's good. Now it's just casual. The more of that in the chat, the better overall that we're killing it here. So please, guys, flex away. What's up, Jay, Nate, Jeff, gang? What's up, Tom, Patrick, Vaughn, Caius, Idar? We got Kazakhstan in here, Netherlands, all over the U.S. Jane, Greg, Dre, YM Cells. Yeah, well, I'm about to dive in, guys. Welcome everyone that last night we did the webinar for the fast track. There are a few slots left, but welcome everyone that just started. It officially begins on Monday, but yeah, so super stoked to have you guys here. And then today's an amazing day. We woke up, we're feeling good, markets are moving, and World Cup starts today. Not gonna lie, I'm hyped. I am hyped. I'm considering doing like watch-alongs, kind of, while I'm looking at some chart stuff. You got to keep it a little productive. But watch the game, mark up a little bit, something like that. I think it'd be fun. Well, at least for me. Maybe nobody else. But what's up? What's up, Jose? Space Matter. So I'm starting with the pound up here because I do think that we could still work our way down. So we had this nice move where Euro played into the zone that I had marked up over here. And it reacted actually pretty well. But this went a bit more bearish than we've seen pound go. So we do still have a divergence there. So I do think we can still work our way down one more time before we end up, trading way over to here. So I still have this open. So yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be dope. Let's see what we have, if we get it over here. But yeah, this is 6B. I realized I stopped sharing a lot of my ideas on school. Like I forgot to throw them in here. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll be good to go. So looks like some stocks are dropping into some key levels. Here we go. So today's setups is June 11, 2026. All right, we got, here we go. Yeah, I didn't catch the game or the highlights for the England game. I heard Jude went crazy though. What's up, Seth? All right, so let's go look at indices to kick things off. We'll look at stock stuff later. But yeah, let's get a good. I mean, guys, I'm salty. I didn't look at charts until at all last night. I just wasn't on them. But the NQ buy that we wanted was a banger. All right, banger may be a little too strong, but it went for a 2R, right? So this played out of our zone here. You guys could have noticed this as well with other assets. But now that we just hit New York Open, the volatility and the fun begins. We have a couple things to take note of. Now, I'm not bullish on indices yet. I don't think that's where we're going quite yet. We broke above this yesterday, and remember how I wanted to short indices yesterday, but fucking this thing didn't go up enough. I wanted to short Dow or gold. It was both. Remember, it was Dow or gold that we're looking for shorts, and it cracked the trend line, which is another version. This is something that I will be teaching sometime soon, I guess more formally. But when you see a trend line break like this is where you can also start looking for shakeouts. I believe, so like, you know how you see a resistance and it breaks through and it takes out like a London session high or Asian session high, stuff like that. And then we start to see it kind of lose momentum and then fall off. It works the same way with the trend line. So just something to consider. But our gold trade yesterday, right? We wanted to short in this zone. Once the market took out this liquidity, I was like, all right, guys, like we might just see the sell off of here early. And yeah, it did. So anyways, missed out on all the movement. We basically would have caught the highs. So what do we do now? What do we do here? And so let's start marking up. I didn't really end up taking anything yesterday. I did catch a little silver move, but I'll get to that. So the main thing that I'm seeing for the markets today, for specific trading entries, and I'm gonna break down my thoughts independently. So okay, NQ on its own, what does that look like? Dow, S&P, and then we're gonna put it together to make a decision on what makes the most sense. Because some of you know, I don't just trade one. Like I just won't look at one and go, okay, this is it. Here's NQ's chart. We're gonna take this, whatever NQ tells us. That's not how I trade, right? I put it all together. I'll consider how they're all moving, because sometimes they all look basically the same, but there's small details that make all of the difference in the world. So that's what we're gonna do here. Now, so starting off with NASDAQ. NASDAQ here has a very, very clever little push to the upside. So here we had resistance, Tokyo highs. You see that all forming over here. Then you have one last bullish move. This cracks the highs, triggers buy stops, takes out sellers, and then makes its final move. So this right here, this is where I'm interested in potential sell. So this is the point of interest. Now, very importantly, because sometimes some of y'all will message me like, oh, hey, are we still taking this trade? I have to say, no. I never said I was going to. It's a point of interest. Doesn't mean that it's confirmed. Doesn't mean that it's a done deal, right? What's the issue here? Oh yeah, you can't do that. Here we go. So possible shorts here if everything else makes sense. All right, so don't get too excited yet. Don't get ahead of yourself. So now, before this can play out, I want to see a little bit more out of the market. I need to know, okay, well, what else is going on? And the reason I like sells here a bit more than buys is because we clear liquidity up here. So the market tries to go bullish and it fails. So typically when you see a failed high like this, it's going to want to actually continue with the direction. So here, we trade below here during end of New York session, some of Asian session, and then we work our way back. And on the way down, right, during Tokyo, you see this last push down before the continuation. This last move down isn't a clear, liquidity capture or anything. It's a little choppy. So I'm not really too excited about anything over there. All right. Taco Thursday, what's up, what's up? Live commentary would be cold. Okay, so one person is interested. It would just be me and Vaughn here watching the game, chopping it up about some charts. Morning Juan, inspiring the inspirational. That's a cool name. Inspiring the inspirational. Who is this guy? I feel like I know. Let me see. His face looks familiar to me. What's that? I'll listen. Who do I have winning the World Cup? I think Spain or Portugal take it. I feel like France should win, but for some reason I don't think it's gonna happen. Can I just slide to the crib? I'll bring cerveza. Sure. Mexico game tonight. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think it's like Spain, Portugal, or France. I know it's not an exciting pick, to be fair. Okay, so that's Nasdaq. And then Dow, right? So Dow we saw pick up crazy steam. Crazy steam. After New York Open, you get one last final push up here. So let's get the replay tool. Let's dissect where the market starts to go crazy over here. So we start seeing it push from 835, keeps going. And then we get like the last push up here that takes out London highs. So that's this. This is where that last movement starts. So right there. And then you see, if you look at some volume here, here's where you see it spike up that last time. Right there. And this is you get buyers obviously coming in, and then everything else starts to short. It's pretty choppy over here. And here's where I'm going to do a side by side. Here's where I start to get into the nitty gritty. Here's where things can get a little bit less clear. And you could say this is where I kind of nerd out a little bit. And so this is where, in hindsight, so I look back at this and I was like, man, like where could I gotten into a short? Did I kind of miss something here? Did I fumble the bag? And the answer was kind of, yeah. So we start getting Dow, spike up, and then Dow starts making lower highs and lower highs and lower highs. So we're getting the divergence here. Now Dow starts to do this, starts to make lower highs, while NASDAQ just keeps going higher. So we clear the London high and we break that trend line, and suddenly price action starts making lower highs while NASDAQ keeps going higher. So NASDAQ keeps pushing and Dow keeps going lower. That was a sign that that the market was starting to move towards the downside. So kind of a shakeout, and then just proof that the market was starting to lose some steam. So I could have had a sell there. It wasn't as black and white. So that part was like, all right, looking at it, I'm like, all right, well, that's interesting. Some added confirmation because of that. So yeah, we have this kind of move, and then you get one more massive push up here, right there, and the market drops again. Here, the market drops again. So overall, like we're just seeing that there's consistent lower highs here, and I think we can get reversals. Honestly, maybe not even just up here, but like we have these big moves so for example, because I want to show you guys this here, like here's the last move to the upside right there, and this move up here, so this last push up on NASDAQ, this is like a trade up here. This is a move up here. So I know I'm getting a little bit, where is this? I just want you guys to kind of notice something, because I'm noticing some patterns here. So here's this last spike up. You see it sweep to the upside, and then it drops right here. That's this order block. This one right here. So this, and I'm just gonna label this because I like learning and identifying certain patterns and seeing if they end up, being useful or not. So this is NQ's New York high. It's the same timing. And let's see, like, is that relevant for us in the future or not? Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't matter. But that's how you figure things out. Like, you see a pattern, you go, all right, well, like, is this consistent? Is this duplicatable? So we'll have that here. So right now, if we're gonna find some sells, some shorts in the market, it for sure makes more sense to be shorting Dow than NASDAQ. Why? Well, my friends, Dow is a slow bear right now. And so it's climbing its way up nice and slowly. Right now it's about a little over a 38.2% pullback. Meanwhile, NASDAQ over here is slightly more bullish, not a lot, but slightly more. So it's a little bit closer to the 50%. So they're actually pretty similar. And then you have S&P that is actually the most bearish. So we also have an S&P's price action looks a little bit more similar to NQ's. You get a nice little clean push here. New York high takes out all of this liquidity, works its way down, and actually breaks this low here. So that's interesting. This fails. This is a failed lower low. So this, some people, actually most people would consider this a break of structure or a continuation. So they go, oh, market's still bearish. But it failed up here and it failed down here. So we're looking at a weird little like market, purgatory, where there's no real direction. We're like, no direction in life. You're like a 19-year-old college kid, just directionless, lost. That's what's going on over here. So how do you figure things out? You just take a shot and hope for the best, right? So this looks pretty clean. So I think we kind of have a weird and interesting zone where either we got potential buys, potential sells. If S&P works its way down to these levels first, well, I won't buy it. But if it gets up to this zone last, I would be willing to sell. And so let's get down to the details. Successes in the details. And we can see that here's where we see that last sweep up before the market drops down. So right in this area, I do like our chances for sales. So right over here, and then remember, don't forget, there's always higher time frame opportunities. So just in case this doesn't work out for whatever reason, there seems to be another zone up here. So we just got to stay mindful of where we're at. Both can go either way. The fact that this was not sustainable doesn't give me a lot of confidence on a huge move. I would be banking on actually a smaller risk reward. So let's see how this goes. A lot of momentum is picking up right now. We're seeing S&P a little bit under the 50%, Dow a little bit at 50%, and then NASDAQ starting to rip to this area, to like the 618. So they're all climbing, they're all moving. NQ with the most momentum. So at the moment, sells look a little bit better between S&P and Dow. So that's where we're at there. Now, with all of this big movement that we're seeing right here, was there a possibility for buys? Did I miss that while I was explaining something else? Could we have been in a trade here? Am I slow in the head? What could it have been? Honestly, I'd say not really. Like, we had a sweep here. The market breaks above. Typically, I could kind of see if some of you were looking at this as a shakeout. The fact that we broke above here typically makes this, like, it already swept liquidity. So these buys are a little less probable for me. Yeah, plain and simple. There was one main difference though, and it's that NQ was holding up structure a bit better. So I could understand if some of you maybe bought here with NAS. I could kind of see it. It's not my trade. Like, I see the huge liquidity sweep. The market worked its way up. Because it took out these highs and filled in balance, these buys are not something that I see these fail more than they play out. But it worked. So if you bought it, good stuff. Yeah, we would prefer Vaughn to sell Dow, if not S&P. We'll kind of see. We'll see where we go. See what shows up here. Yeah, I wasn't in love with the NQ buy, so it could have been nice. Like, if I was looking at the small time frame, I would have been like, I can kind of see it. But with I don't think I would have had the conviction to take that. Probably not even with a small time frame. It was small risk. Now, that's indices. So to conclude, to make it very clear, to make sure that you all are understanding what I'm saying, if I'm going to sell anything, it's probably going to be S&P or Dow based on what we see right now. Right now, S&P would be the short because it's pulling back up at the slowest pace, and you can tell since it's sitting below 50% right now when Dow and NQ are beyond that. Okay? On the other side of the coin, if you guys are interested in a romance, just look into the chat and Corey and Vaughn are professing their love to one another. So if you guys are, in the market for a good rom-com,
that would make a
you
rom-com.
Boy Meets World situation, Gen Z version, it's right there. Very modern, American Filipino, white guy from the burbs. Beautiful, truly. We have gold over here. So of all of the assets that are actually, let me go for the micro. It'll be a little easier. Here we have a nice sweep right there. So clean liquidity sweep. Beautiful right there. And then liquidity capture, the market moves its way down. Obviously extremely bearish. So this looks good. I'm here trying to get this love story written, I just want someone to buy the script. Nice little cash out. I'm here, man. I'm open opportunities. That's all. They talk about selling YM, but the truth is not. All right, that got dark. So if the high's on gold, and let me throw a fib here. I'm gonna be a little bit more on task here because then this stream is gonna get really confusing. But we're at like a 38.2 pullback with gold. So look at how we get to here. So slower retracement by far. London, Tokyo highs, nothing is swept. There's actually a lot of liquidity everywhere here with metals. So you kind of have this all over the place. And so remember, these highs are the same time, like 845-ish for gold, S&P right around like 850 or 920. So it's pretty similar of all of these ideas. Now, you don't have to correlate everything if you don't want to. Sometimes that can be actually more confusing for you. So feel free, if you only want to focus on like indices as correlation, that's fine. Because sometimes what happens is, for example, let's say we were to get like our indices trade right here, right? And all metals might be doing is just doing a liquidity sweep. So that also works out really well. So you might just see like, oh, gold takes out a whole bunch of liquidity. It doesn't get all the way up to here, but it takes out this liquidity. And at the same time, that might be setting up an indice trade. So you don't always have to wait for the exact same setup everywhere. You know what I mean? Okay, so in the buys right now, in NG buys. Yeah, I saw your trade play out super well, bro. I saw it after the fact. So we can get into that here soon. But yeah, gold's slowly working its way up here. I'm going to set some alerts. I know we have London highs over here. No real setups. I'm not literally looking to sell below London or Tokyo highs. I'm chilling. What's up, Jenny? Buenos dias. Silver doing its thing, pushing along. Silver also, right, did its thing yesterday. Nothing really to do there. From here, let's see. We got oil. Oil's been interesting. The inverse correlation is like kind of back on track here. We're seeing a lot of bearish movement with oil while indices are bullish. I want to show you guys kind of where we're at with this though. So right now we're in an interesting moment with oil. And it's very choppy. It's very confusing. But we saw the higher time frame, the lows get swept, and the market immediately comes back up. So trading below 87 is just not something that wants to happen right now. What's up, Yul? Yuleta, dímelo. Dímelo, baby. What's up, bro? Good to see you on here. Espero que estés bien. So oil, when it drops, no love below 87 at all. But on the other way around too, we're really struggling to maintain above 92. So we're kind of in this really choppy area, back and forth and back and forth. So what can we do with oil? One, you can just leave it alone. Don't have to do anything. Two, you just wait for high quality opportunities. Like, where do you have textbook setups to be involved in? And the more I see this, the more I'm just looking to kind of wait it out. Like, I don't love how oil's been trading. It's been very indecisive. You know, I think I'm gonna just stay away until oil gets really clear. I've traded a lot of oil the last couple months. Right now, like, I can see extremes. So for example, you know, looking for a buy over here, I see this. You see the sweep of liquidity. The market hasn't really worked its way down. So trading the extremes is what makes sense. So I'll probably be less frequent for the week or two with oil. But once we get into extremes, I am more interested in oil trading. Okay, de maravillas, bro. Me alegro escucharte en YouTube. Placer verte por aquí, bro. Ya sabes. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be waiting for. This is kind of a bummer, right? We got swept on oil. On the syndicate, I broke down why. And then from there, we ended up just kind of bouncing back and just really ripping up to here. So trade would have been a banger. But unfortunately, we had a different trajectory here. Now, okay, what I can also see, especially if we kind of maintain these bearishness, is we do have oil spike up to here, fill the imbalance, and then work its way down. So if structure stays pretty good over here, I'm actually open to selling here. I'd be curious about how the rest of the market looks, but you know, I got my eyes peeled. But okay, let's get to the task at hand here. Gold, not quite at liquidity sweep levels. We have London and Tokyo highs still trading up here. You have resistance from during London session basically right there. So metals probably keep climbing higher. We have indices making their way. So S&P pushing towards London highs. So liquidity sweeping here soon. You have Dow that already took out London highs but lost some steam pretty quickly. And then you have NASDAQ that is still pushing higher, trading above 71%, taking out London highs as well. So NASDAQ right now is giving us signs first. NASDAQ right now, it kicked things off pretty aggressively. So you have a few minutes after New York open, you have this big crash down here. So it makes this big move to the downside. So there's clearly money coming in here. All right, so we got big spike down, and then obviously buyers come in and start overrunning this whole thing. So if we can get good enough demand up here, like if we can keep trading over here, if we can see the market just stay up here, then honestly there's a chance that this buy can play out. I'm not against it completely, especially if we still have more to push higher. So it's possible. you have a similar setup, right? You had that same spike down with Dow over here. Here's like the last little move. So if you guys want to see it, that one final move down and then it rips. NQ started its movement way earlier, and then S&P as well, similar to NAS, gives a spike down, starts to work its way higher. But the main difference is that NAS is just way more bullish than all of everything else. So if this is going to be a setup, this push down isn't an aggressive liquidity sweep. So I immediately wouldn't take a full risk on this, like my typical risk. I would go with a little bit less. But we'll see. Before this is even qualified as an opportunity, before it's even something to consider, I need to see price maintain highs. Because price getting above here for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, that's not it. That's not giving me confidence that, oh look, the market's bullish now. Because for all we know, the market wanted to sweep London highs and start to set up for sells again. The fact that this spikes up and then comes crashing back down so quickly, this isn't like giving us super good signs that it's bullish. If anything, it's the exact opposite. So yeah, we'll see here. If we're looking at metals, which are doing very similar, it's a very similar movement. Gold has a lot of resistance still here, so I don't necessarily I'm not convinced that we're done moving higher. So I'm we're like in this weird in between, and that's really all I'm going to stick with here. What's interesting, and maybe this is something that I know I should have noticed 3 minutes ago instead of right now, is the order block. This order block right here. This guy. We had resistance for London session. You get the imbalance. The market entices sellers one more time, and then it finally liquidates London highs. The market quickly trades right back into that order block, and of course, it starts to fly. So naturally, I find I make this conclusion 3 minutes after I needed to. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm just gonna drink about it. Good God, this coffee is amazing. Wow. There is something different in this one. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Holy shit. That's like, I don't know, some divine nectar or something. Okay, so this is an entry model that I've been experimenting with, which is basically the order block that happens right before a key liquidity capture matters a lot. And it's like packed with orders. Like here, and I wonder if I can, let's see, pinpoint this here. I wonder if volume will help. I'm just curious here. Buys, sells. I'm not sure, honestly, actually. So there's a lot of liquidity here, retail buys. That's why the volume is so much lower. And then we see obviously things pick up after New York Open. You see this entice, so you have trendline liquidity here building up, and then London highs as well. One last, right? This is selling, for example, my poor candlestick pattern traders. They see this here where they've seen resistance, and this is where they pull the triggers for the sells, and then they get bodied right away. So there's key areas that matter. So very clean move. And then entry would be here, stop would be below this. This trade would be, let's say, running. And even though I'm not in this, it matters to run the simulation, if you will. so that you can build more confidence with what this trade would look like. And honestly, this is a trade that I would carry past New York highs because NQ has the most momentum. But also, this would already be at break even. So the management of this trade is important because it's literally just the distance of the move. So if it drops like this, once it just rejects the same sell-off, then stops go to break even. So this trade would be at break even, if not even with into some profits. But that's just me walking you guys through this entry model that I'm just seeing more and more of, refining the what's up refining just my eye with it. Meanwhile, Dow is just being suppressed. It wants to shine, but it can't. And then we have S&P starting to get a little bit more bullish. So check this out, guys. Now you have S&P climbing to the 618 and Dow much closer to the 50%. So now things are starting to balance out and the sells for Dow look a bit more conclusive. Meanwhile, metals still sad and just trading down here. Not really doing much. All right. While all that's going on, we've had the sweep of oil and then the market rejection starting to bounce there. And then natural gas. So this was a trade that we talked about yesterday, and DeAndre brought this one up, and I liked it. I thought it looked really good. We had the break above these highs. We traded above here for the majority of 3 to 4 hours. It broke below and came back up again twice. So this looked good to me. And then I was looking for an entry in this blue zone. I had my target over here at, I think it was 3.10, and the market got to 3.102. I feel like had I been active with this, I woke up like 3 minutes after it spiked down. I think I would have market executed knowing myself, but doesn't matter. And got a good reaction. So the sell-off here is about, let's see, 5.6 cents. So like we'll say like 56 ticks. I'm not even sure if that's what you could call it. And then this reacts very, very, very similarly to the point where I wouldn't really argue this. Like I wouldn't chase this anymore. I think this already did its thing. So yeah, not an entry I'm looking to take again or anything like that. I think it's a wrap here. Got the rejection, got the reversal. My take profit would have been closer to this. So this would have ended up as more of a wash. Yeah. So I don't know if you're still holding this. I mean, I hope the best, but not a trade that I'm in or would be in anymore. Now, the idea that I originally brought up, which is the pound, GBP. And right now we've kind of traded down into this zone a couple times. We've already mitigated this area, so I think we already got the reversal right there. And when the market came into here, that's when Euro was also, trading down there. So now I think we make another push down, and then we can get the reversal from the pound over here. So I'm going to be ready to strike if the market does work its way down to here. Be good to go. And then today, guys, I have to do it. And we got to look at the peso. Come on, Mexico's playing. Fun fact, I'm not Mexican. Despite, I know you guys probably think that I'm Mexican because people that look like me are all Mexican. Married a Mexican, so I am Mexican through the transitive property. I'm contractually partially Mexican now. So viva la raza. Ah, huevo. But yeah, not Mexican. But do we have a setup is the question. And we did, but it was during Asian session. So nice little liquidity sweep. Fun fact, I'm still holding this trade. And I don't know why anymore at this point, because this thing is drier than paint. I mean, come on, bro. 5 days. Good Lord. And yeah, so these I think this is about to get swept. I think we're going to see a nice little run, but it's been slow. So is there a new setup? Possibly here. We have the London lows swept with this push down. So if we keep rallying, maybe we can get another buy position. But typically with the peso, honestly, I only really trade this on like a 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. I really prefer that with currencies. I'm not an intraday currency trader. Currencies, I'm down for like swing trades or higher time frame confirmations. Win rate is just a lot higher that way. Love all the fun facts today. Am I giving out fun facts today? Bitcoin slowly wanting to work its way higher. What do you guys think? Did we bottom out with Bitcoin? Are we cooked? Are we going to work our way further down? What do y'all think? Is it over? The market not wanting to trade below this is, I mean, good. I think we can at least work our way down to here or up to 72 again. It's not over. We're still going down. It's possible. Here are my thoughts. And I want you guys to think about this for a second. So look at February's low. Okay. February's low was 60,050. And then April's low. Remember when April was like catatonic for stocks? April's low over here. So March 30th, April 1st. And then June breaks below here. All right, so that just want you guys to think about that for a second. So finally, this does get below when April did not. Fun fact, it's a good time to be buying Bitcoin. I agree. I think it's always a good time to be buying Bitcoin. But now, let's look at the difference with the stock market. April was way down here. March 30th, April 1st, March 31st, all of this. Fun fact, we called this low. Dow, way over here. Okay, so that's different. Bitcoin clearly did not have the same kind of bull run that stocks had. But the question is this now, because it's different. We're trading in different environments. So, will SpaceX IPO be the catalyst that sends this further down? If so, Bitcoin probably goes down with it. I don't see crypto market not dropping if that's going to be the case. So if we're looking at this from a higher time frame, you guys, I mean, look at this thing. This is such an important, I think today matters way more than we realize. Because either we're going to get a reaccumulation, and it looks like that's kind of the case. The sweep, the market chopping up, not wanting to have any demand over here, working its way higher. So either this is just a liquidity capture already, the market's rebalanced, and it's going to keep going further higher. Or SpaceX IPO obliterates everybody and sends this thing crashing back down to sub 25K. Dow Jones would get pushed probably towards 47,000. So this is why things really matter right now. Because, oh my God, the market's going crazy. I can't look away from this for 2 seconds because it crashes. So London highs swept. Didn't even get his chance at any sort of entries here for the shorts. NASDAQ clears London highs as well. Works its way down. NQ did the thing, worked its way lower. Is this enough? Okay, so let me just delete that. Is this enough confirmation for a buy, guys? 16 minutes above the high. Good bounce over here. Is this a valid buy opportunity? Dow very bearish. S&P much more bearish. Possibly working its way below these lows. I kind of like the NQ buy over here. I think we have a shot at it. So let me just zoom out and then consider lower zones as well. So I know I didn't finish my thought on the higher time from the macros to the stock market right now, and I will. But I just want to put into consideration a couple things here. So first, I think post PPI lows get swept. So I would love to see Dow take out these lows. So clear all of this, work its way lower, maybe even below this. So this is Dow here. We go 5 minute. I think it'll be a little easier. And then there's the possible buy right here. Market trades up here for like 15 minutes or so. But more than anything, this still looks like it was just a liquidity capture. And the market traded into this order block. Okay. Half risk entry on me for NASDAQ for me. And I'm going to take a nice gentle pump. Like if whatever we get, a good spike up, that's what I'm going to take with this one. And then, yeah, man, Robinhood, you can get the SpaceX IPO for 140, but that's the last thing I'm going to do right now. There's no chance I'm buying SpaceX right now. Even if it rips, like opportunity cost is not, I don't understand, like, I don't get it actually. Like, do people think that that's the best play? Like, this is the most profitable opportunity? It's like a opportunity that's in front of you, but like, I don't know. I don't get it. IPOs are so weird to me. It's like, okay, a shit ton of super extremely wealthy companies and people got in way before you. Everyone's excited, so there's going to be tons of people wanting to get in. For example, if you got in at $10, all right, if you got in at $10, oh, I need to double check that I'm logged in. 1 second, guys, before I make a decision if I'm going to buy this thing or not. Un momento, por favor. Before I finish that thought. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, you're guaranteed to be liquidity. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. Like, yes, it's exciting. Yes, everybody's talking about it. But come on, like, just don't be a mindless bot. Okay, so divergence is looking decent. Just think about it. Put yourself in position. You got in at $10 and everyone else is about to get in at 140. Wouldn't you sell on them? Right? Like, you're guaranteed to make 15 times, 20 times more. Wouldn't you want to sell on them? Like, there's someone that's like, hey, yeah, I'll totally buy your, at whatever price you have it at. So I just don't think it's not the best opportunity. Is there money making opportunity there later? Sure. If anything, actually, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but I would short that joint. What would that be? Puts? I would do options, puts, because to me, it's like the easiest thing. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Can I do that? Is that available for an IPO? Hold on. Okay, so before I make a decision here, We got a decent bounce, a little baby bounce here on NQ. Maybe still valid. It's starting to go down a little bit more aggressively. Look at how Dow is up here, so that's the divergence. NQ is not as bullish at the moment. I might pass on this, to be fair. I'm gonna pass on NQ buys, and I'm very much at peace with that. So I don't think that there's too much of a lag on this. So when are options gonna be available for SpaceX? Probably a couple days after. Damn, that sucks. SpaceX is going to enter NASDAQ. So then NASDAQ probably on the day, so tomorrow. So tomorrow we probably see a fat ass short. Maybe an intraday pump and then just big sell off on NQ. So I think like 9:15 a.m. is where trading is going to start. Price is set after market close tonight. And then indicative quotes start at 10:15 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Interesting. So yeah, I think we'll see probably, I'm imagining we get a pop to start and then a colossal sell-off. Tomorrow's gonna be fun. So maybe we can't do an options play right away, but since it's going into NQ, we can't expect, I'd say, an overly bearish NQ movement tomorrow. Yeah. Look at how we've kind of flipped behavior here with Dow. Dow took out PPI, actually it hasn't taken out PPI lows, but it got down to here, took out some of this liquidity and started to work its way higher, while NQ is like very mellow, minor movement. So I'm cool with not trading anything here. That's fine with me. I'm very much okay with that. Let's see how this continues. Metals cracked the lows. Okay. Still liquidity up here. I think today's trading looks like it's gonna be more post like this first hour. Maybe it's gonna be a like after lunch type of situation. Okay. Let me look in the chat. Any opportunity that is mass produced like an IPO is such a red flag. Mass marketed, yeah, for sure. You're just going to be liquidity, absolutely. Bare minimum, wait for the IPO stock to sweep the heck out of liquidity. At least, yeah. From my understanding, there's a lockout period for big money after 180 days, and then the sell-offs start happening for better entries if you truly believe in the company for long-term investing. I would say, yeah, I think long-term, for sure. It just doesn't have to happen now. Would you say an IPO and a new coin drop are the same thing? Similar. Crypto coin drops are a little different because it depends on what kind of coin it is. Like a meme coin, yeah. A meme coin, obviously that's just like, it needs demand, it needs attention, it needs marketing. And then there's definitely like how they're bundled. So that's a little different. Let me show you one of the most hyped up cryptos that ever dropped in like when they were dropping and how that went. So look at this here. This is real. This launched, this ICO'd, And at like, yeah, 500, 600, this went straight into the top 10. This went straight into like, I forgot the market cap of this. It was fucking insane. And then just extracted. Oh man. Yeah. I've stayed very clear of this for a very long time, despite everyone around me wanting to keep buying this thing. Like people I respect, they just wanted to keep buying this. I couldn't figure out why. I thought there were some red flags, but whatever. It is what it is. But like something like that, like you can have the biggest thing ever, and it doesn't mean it's going to recover. But this is different. Crypto's a little different. There's a way more speculation with crypto than there is with stocks. All right, so NQ did its mitigation here. So trade could have played out. Trade would have worked. Wouldn't have entered anyways. It was too high, so it wouldn't have taken place for me. You had hope in ICP. I don't know why. I was the only one, and I sounded like a dick all the time. Not because I wanted to go against people, but it just didn't make sense. Their tokenomics is really bad. It's like buying the dollar. Rare case that divergence didn't matter. I think what happened with this setup right here, which is just cool to see with market dynamics, is like once we had for example, Dow sweeps liquidity. So when Dow gets below this and then takes, all of a sudden now it has more volume. Remember what happens, right? When the market breaks below, let's say like support, this over here, this is where there's stop losses. So there are positions that are willing to that are given up at this price. So you have like big buys can now enter the market because there's, let's say, traders, there's orders that are willing to be given up over here. So big orders are here. So now that smart money can come in, it also came in at the same time with NQ. So here was 916. Here is 916. The difference was, oh my bad, here's 916. The difference was that NQ goes lower one more time to get into the order block. By then, Dow's already ripping. So it looked like once this had enough liquidity, it's like, all right, cool, we can carry on now. Is anything here worth selling or shorting? Maybe. Because now we had London sweeps really nicely, comes back in. We might not work our way higher over here anymore. So there's a chance we could get a short still. I'd be curious if we work our way higher one more time, what that would look like. But there's nothing very abundantly clear, so you don't have to be on the market. I was one of those people, just a liquidity asset. Yeah, man. Hey, don't say I didn't tell y'all. For all y'all that were in or are in Powerhouse, I fucking told you guys. But y'all asses don't listen to me. Helion Holdings. No, I don't know anything about this. What is this? How come y'all come with me like, why is it that y'all come with the stocks like this? Like, why y'all do this to me? Y'all are like, yo bro, you ever heard of this stock? And it's like, yeah, 2 months ago it popped 500%. Let me get these entries, y'all. Like, y'all hook me up with when it's over here. Not when it's over here. So one day, somebody, please. Fuck. Well, Isaed, to be fair, yeah, I just don't know if we're in the same communities like that. Like, But yeah, man, look at this. This is nice. Lonzo, where were you in April? All right, but to actually answer your question and not to just be a dick about it. Yeah, what a squeeze. This is nice. Like when you see multi-year squeezes and if there's some sort of, something that makes this valid, like, dude, such a good move. So hopefully you were in before that. What you mean, bro? I told you about Crow. You told me about Crow? You mean when I was buying it in 2020? Crazy. They're focused on building generators that can produce electricity for things like AI data centers, military. That's a good place to be in right now. 1.25 billion market cap. Oh, this is a baby. This is a baby. So these entries were at like 250 mil market cap. Oh my god. That's wild. That's crazy. This is very tiny. All right, cool. Let me do this. Let me do a little financial audit. A little like market research. And then I'll get back to you. But yeah, this is dope. I mean, this is needed. Obviously, there's like a data center demand like crazy right now. Building generators that can produce. Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll tell my grandma about the stuff you said about the IPO. She learned about it through Facebook. Yeah, of course, man. I mean, like, I get it. I get it because people are told you should invest, right? And then they're like, okay, yeah, maybe it's finally time for me to do something about it. And then they hear about something all the time. So they're like, okay, well, like, this is my only exposure. This is probably going to be good, right? Because if everyone's talking about it, then it's probably good. Especially when we're talking about boomers and Gen X. It's just very much like whatever's in the air, like that's what we're going to do. Which just kind of sucks because that is part of the propaganda. That's why Jim Cramer exists. You know, Jim Cramer is literally that. Like, let me just peddle you some stuff so that you're exit liquidity. Yeah, so interesting. But anyways, that's my take, guys. Like, I just think even if SpaceX were to 100% tomorrow, which would be insane, but even if it would, think about risk reward. So, like, okay, would you be willing to go 50% drawdown for maybe, I'd say, a small chance to see that same growth? If you guys want me to look at certain stocks, do me a favor. In school, because remember, this is meant to be a community of sharing. Just put whatever you're into here. Go like, hey, what do you guys think about? And then insert stock. And then I can go take a look. And I'll let you guys know. All right, so I think that's going to be about it for me today. Pound is getting closer to the entry zone that I like. But now it's more bearish than Euro is. And that's annoying. It still should mitigate, so I'm gonna peep it. All right, so I see LFTO. Sorry, Adrian. Make a post about it, bro. And then I'll peep it. Lonzo, same thing for you. Anyone else, really? Like, just go ahead. Run it up. Brandon. Hey, Brandon, honestly, I get it, though, because there was a lot of forces towards ICP. A lot. And I've gotten calls wrong, too. Don't get me wrong. So I'm not here being on a high horse, because, like, I've definitely missed. But this is why you kind of have to, you got to put your own evidence. You got to build your own understandings and call your own shots. So when it's one versus everyone, it's a little tougher. But at least I think one thing that serves me, and I'm sure it'll serve you all, is like there's that picture. Here, let me find it. Why is this so weird? This one here. How do I pull this up? Basically, this right there. Here's everybody else, and this is you. Yes, you are all wrong. So yeah, those are my takes, basically. With more experience, I think you're able to have that kind of conviction. Sometimes it's ego, and that's not always as useful. But when you have the evidence, like, and honestly, I would say that this kind of mindset is where outsized returns really live. So for example, like one of our biggest, and it was cool because the biggest risk reward investment I ever made was also with the most money. So the payoff was their conviction and against the grain. And it was because of a numerous amount of things. So when, for example, like when everyone starts or stops believing something, so like let's say, for example, let's take Bitcoin, right? Here was another one of our bigger bets, but like when Bitcoin did this, massive dump, COVID times, March 2020, and we started to pick it up again. So like we were buying through all of this actually. My first Bitcoin buy was over here. Where is this guy? Like right here? Somewhere? And then, remember, everyone loses attention. Price won't signal proof. I don't know why it took me like 11 years to come to that phrase. Yeah, I was making fucking bank on Solana. Hell yeah. But yeah, price doesn't signal proof. Price and value are not the same thing. So markets can crash or certain assets can crash and price looks awful. But that's not a sign that things won't work out. And I'm not even just talking about like crypto or assets or stocks, anything. Your capability in an industry you're in a skill that you have, in a hobby that you have, in a passion project that you have, like what it looks like in the moment is not proof that it can't be highly functionable, that it can be highly profitable, that it can be highly capable, that it can be, prosperous. It never is. Like the highest returns, like for example, I mean, dude, think about it. Like you have, it's every single time. Like look at Michael Jordan, right? Look at Tom Brady. Look at Steph Curry. like, no, there weren't signs of, oh, these guys are going to be the greatest of all time in something, or something like that. Think about, I mean, same thing. Think about like artists' career paths, like whether it's, I mean, so many people are like, all right, in the mud, and it happens. Like the amount of people that I've seen, people that had been arrested before, people that were homeless at some point, where it's like, is there proof that you're gonna make it? No, but it's not like the price, like your price, if you will, your evaluation, your net worth doesn't signal the future. So whether it's evaluating stuff like this, and especially when most people are willing to bet against you or bet against it, then that means that there's just runway for it to happen. So when we're thinking about stocks or any sort of investment, when there's the least amount of attention there, when there's the least amount of belief in it, typically that's when you have the best available prices, the highest opportunity. So whether it's like, I feel like at this point, it's like you're evaluating, right? Evaluation is, I don't know, what's the breakdown of that word, evaluation? Etymology of evaluation. Action of appraisal or evaluating. How is this broken down? To find the value of. Okay, so that's what we do, right? We find the value of something. Price and value are not the same thing. So whether it's your life, what you're capable of, stocks, crypto, whatever, don't let what's on the surface guide what's really meant to happen. At least that's my take. That's my little philosophy for the day. All right, so, you know, it's been real, y'all. Good chopping it up with you guys. I don't think I'm going to trade within this mess here. Probably just going to wait for it to go one way or the other. Trade on the extreme of something. And wait it out. Pound is getting a little closer. I will be taking this one. And let's see if we can get to these extremes. That'd be awesome. But yeah, hopefully what I said made sense to y'all. If not, it is what it is. But yeah, enjoy the day, guys. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Remember, if you haven't seen the replay to the fast track, it is pinned in the school. If you wanted to know what that was about and you missed it, if you have any questions regarding it, shoot us a message. We have about 7 slots available, maybe 8. And typically those run out between the first kind of 24 hours of the webinar. So every cohort has been closed, and this one I don't think is going to be any different. So feel free to reach out, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.